Hey everyone, how's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you another episode, Coffee with Coach. Hope you're up doing well. Got the mind in the right place. If not, as always, let's put it in the right place. So I want to share with you guys something, a little nugget that I was listening to on the business side, a little different today. Of course, I listened to my Jocko podcast throughout the morning. Got up 6 o'clock like usual, walked the dogs, all that good stuff. And then I'm just prepping and getting ready to go up to the academy, hit some weights, and then teach and train some jiu-jitsu. So I got to get the business stuff in there too as well. So anyways, just something that just kind of caught my ear, which I know already, but of course, because I know that, just when I hear certain things, it'll just make me stop and rewind, listen to it a little deeper. But the harder you work on yourself, just an easier life you're going to have, and that seems to kind of a little bit backwards, right? Like, you're working harder to have something easier. But it just in line with the whole Jocko thing. I'm looking at the book here, the discipline equals freedom, like the more disciplined you are, the more freedom you're just going to have. And it's just the way life works because the work never ends. And that was the other thing in this video I was listening to. And I talk about this stuff all the time. This is just kind of like repetitive stuff, but sometimes depending on where you're at, what kind of day you're having, what kind of situations you're dealing with, you're going to just, sometimes you just need to hear certain things again to just kind of put you back in the right place to be like, yeah, you know what, let's get back to work. So it's just always going to be that way. It'll just never end, So, for me, at least when I say, or when I think about working harder on myself, it always just starts like with my health. Like prioritize number one is just me. Taking care of me, making sure my health is good, making sure that my body and the mind are in good shape, and then I can help a lot of other people. And if I can't, if I'm not in good shape mentally and physically, and eating the right foods and hydrate and take care of myself, then the amount of people I can help is minimal because I can barely help myself, So, of course, the discipline factor, you're doing things that are just repetitive, monotonous. You just know they need to get done, and you're getting them done because they just have to get done. It's just that discipline that kicks in when the laziness wants to kick in. The discipline takes over, and it just keeps you right on track instead of falling behind. Organization, I talk about this all the time with my students, man. Like if your car is a mess, your house is a mess, your work area space is a mess, most likely, there's other areas in your life that are a mess, unorganized. Get cleaned up, get organized, and then things will start to smooth out for you. The clean up your appearance thing, it's the same thing with the way your house looks and your bathroom and your kitchen and your yard. And if your appearance isn't really that good, then most likely a lot of other things aren't good either. It's just one of those things where you hear just kind of like in the business world, like you dress up, you look good, you feel good, you're going to go out and do good. And I highly believe in that. Like I really believe in that. It's like you'll never see me here come up on these videos and look scruffy, hair not shaved and no shave on the beard, and I just look horrible. You're just not gonna see that out of me. Like no matter what I do, I gotta make sure my appearance is on point, And that goes along in the lines with what I do for a living, teaching jiu-jitsu. At least for me, I hear, a lot of students like, hey man, I want someone that looks the part. And so I got to make sure I look the part. If I'm not looking the part, it's really hard to help other people, believe in the fact that I can help them get to where they need to get to if I'm not looking that part. So it's very important, the appearance part. The finances, man, the finances got to be on point, man. If you're not taking care of those finances and you're letting stuff slide and your credit score is going in a negative direction, it's going to be really hard to do the things that you want to do. So again, just always working on yourself, mentally, physically, organization, finances, all this stuff. Like the harder you work on those things, the easier everything else becomes. And I'm going to give you a couple examples. Got a family member, got a new car. Okay. They had to put in some work though, because their finances and their credit score wasn't really in the right place. Of course, if your credit score isn't in the right place, what happens? They give you a higher interest rate because they just obviously see that you can't pay stuff off like you should. So instead of maybe getting a 2 or 3% on a car loan, you're probably going to get like a 10, 15, or even higher, depending on where you go, because your credit score is pretty crappy. And then the finances, you can't buy what you want if you didn't save and put money aside and do the things that you're supposed to be doing. Well, this individual has been given good advice throughout the years, but just never really took it. And then now they're taking it and they're putting things in place. They're working harder on themselves. And guess what? They got a nice new vehicle. They got a very nice, clean looking ride. And they should be driving in something like that versus driving around in a hoopty, something that has 4 different hubcaps and 4 different kinds of tires and, different color fenders, and just pick a whatever to make a hoopty look like a hoopty, man. And for my old school or my new school people, like a hoopty is just a raggedy old car. All right. So this individual worked harder on themselves, worked harder on their budget, got their credit score up, and was able to get a pretty good interest rate, and then got themselves a new vehicle. And they should be driving around their family in a nice vehicle. They're not like an early 19, 20-year-old that should just hey, you should just be happy with that for now, and then you work your way up. This individual is older, and they should be driving around in something like that. Let's put it in jiu-jitsu aspect with all the students that we've helped over the years, the ones that are current, whatever. Certain individuals have lost 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds. Well, that's not easy. That's a lot of hard work. That's like changing your entire lifestyle, changing what you eat, drink, sleeping habits, workouts, training sessions, all these things they had to work harder at. But what happened? Their life is becoming better, easier, because they worked harder on themselves, So those are just a few examples I wanted to put out there. And there's many, many more, but I'd be here all day with that stuff, But just think about that for a second. If you just work harder on yourself, and to me, in this day and age, with the way things are, with the mental health thing, if you work harder on your mental part of your life and get that in shape, man, life would probably be, I know it would be, that's a guarantee, would be so much easier, because so many people are in their own way. Life isn't in their way. A person, a boy, a girl, a thing, it's them. The individual themselves are in their own way, because they're just not taking care of the mental health. Just vitamins and vitamin C, D, zinc, and everything are supposed to help fight off certain things. You got to have certain things that fight off the bad things that come in your way with your life. And I realized that a long time ago. That's why I started sharing these videos and reading these books and listening to the things that I listen to, because I'm trying to build up an immune system in my head for bad things that come my way. Okay, so if you're not doing that, if you're not working harder on those things, then life is always going to be hard. But if you start working harder on those things, life is going to be a lot easier. I guarantee it, So again, just a few examples, man. If you're struggling and you just want a new car because your car is barely making it from A to B, and you feel like you deserve a new car, well, put yourself in a position to do that. Work harder on yourself. Get your credit score up. Put some money aside. Stop blowing money on silly stuff. Sacrifice a little. It's not really sacrifice. You're investing for a while, and then go get the thing that you want to go get. And I just believe in that. I definitely will work harder all day to make my life easier and the things around me easier. So same with my jiu-jitsu. I'm always working harder on my jiu-jitsu to make things easier for me on the mat. And then yesterday we had a mat chat after class, a little debrief, and some students are just refusing to try new things. And so guess what? The roads are harder for them, but if they try those new things, work harder on those new things, there's going to be a little struggle involved and some frustrations, but eventually things will get better because they have a new game to implement on their opponents and their teammates. So anyways, I got to run, got to get some deadlifts in and some pull-ups and dips and all that good stuff. You guys have a great day. Catch you on the next one. We'll see you.